So this is the next part of keyword research. If you remember, we're dealing with Customize out in with two locations, one in Lee Summit, the other one in Lenexa. Both are in Kansas City. If you remember, we've discovered that Lenexa is doing pretty well, so we're not going to touch Lenexa, at least for the time being. Lee Summit has room for improvement there, ranking about 4 or 5 generically. But what's going to bring them traffic is going to be Kansas City. And remember, Kansas City is going to be a huge fight because it's a huge city. There's going to be lots of other eye doctors, other optometrists also trying to fight for it. So it's going to be a long-term thing, maybe 2-3 months we're going to fight for it, but we would definitely start some link building for the Kansas City. Not such a big campaign, not a very large campaign. A smaller campaign has more focused keywords in it, not doing Lenexa or Lee Summit, something specifically for Kansas City. Okay, so what we can do, nevertheless, what we have at this point is an overall picture with based on our seed list, our seed word key list, and that's pretty much what we go into every customer with. But we want to see if there's more specific things that we can do, and that's where Google Analytics is going to come in, as well as Webmaster Tools. So we're going to log in to Google Analytics using this email address, and if you go to all accounts and click the down button, we're going to search for Custom Eyes. We're going to click not the folder up here, but the bottom one over here, Custom Eyes KC. And we're just going to quickly peruse, okay? Spend lots of time over here, what I'm going to show you, because you can find sometimes some gems. I'm not going to spend so much time on it, because there's a lot of stuff you can do. First of all, I like to take a look at the SEO dashboard. This is almost the type of information we have on our website anyways. It's pretty much ripped off of this. This is a custom dashboard that I created. If you want it, I can show you how to set it up easily. Anyways, we just want to make sure is that the date is going far back enough. Okay, April to the end of May, not so bad. Just make sure that we're going to get enough. This is all information we've seen before. Maybe a little more updated than the previous video. You see where over here where our landing pages are, anything that looks a little out of place or fairly generic, we're going to want to change up. But if you take a look here, for our top keywords, there's only really one Lenexa over here, and the rest are all Lee Summit. That means there's plenty of people, and when I say plenty, I mean in quotations, because this Lenexa alone is 79, and everything else that I just highlighted is just a variation of each other, so not the end of the world. Anyways, so we see that there is plenty of room for Lee Summit over here. Not so much Kansas City, but that's because we're not getting so much traffic. So what we really want to take a look at right now is that we want to go down all the way to traffic sources, and we're going to look at this search engine optimization. This is fairly new, where Google has finally integrated parts of Webmaster Tools into the analytics. So we're going to go to queries. Sometimes you're going to see that you're going to need to set it up here, follow the directions, click the correct web page when you follow the directions, and everything will be fine. Now, just if you take a look along the query, that's what people search for. Impressions, people see it on their website when they click through, and then this is what one of the things we're going to look for, the click-through rate. So if we just go down, we see there's 459. Let's just see them all in one shot. So right now it's being organized on impressions, just how many times it actually shows up on somebody's SERP. So as you can see, we've got our big ones here. Custom Eyes, Lenexa. You can see here. I'm not so sure exactly what Fitz disease is. That might just be something chopped off or something, but for some reason it's getting lots of impressions, and as you can see, absolutely no click-through. So it's just curious where this is coming from, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, fine. So we see what our top impressions. We're going to go to the second set, which is, as you can see, 3,000 to about 150 in this case. We're going to look at the about 100s and down. Right now, is there any? We identify any words that we might actually be able to leverage. Now here, Torah contacts. We might think this is a good word because it's got 50 impressions, not so bad. 60 impressions. The problem is not so many clicks. Not so many clicks, and as you can see, the click-through rate is bubkiss. It's nothing. So that doesn't help us. So let's keep on going down a little bit more. Do we see anything? Here's one. This is actually a pretty good one to start off with. Blue Eye Lens. Now that means our website is whenever somebody Googles that has been shown on their SERP at least 35 times, and if we've actually had clicks of 5, that means obviously about 14.5% click-through rate. Not so bad. But that's the idea that we're looking for. Can we maybe take Blue Eyes Lens and put it on our website? Maybe. Can we combine it with local? Well, that's more research. That's what we're going to have to do next. Or at least after this point. But as you can see, this is what we're looking for. This is where you would also find keywords like optometrist in Kansas City or eye doctor in Kansas City. This is another place where this will pop up. So what we're going to do right now is that we're just going to go to click-through rate. We're going to want to go, I should have clicked this. No, here we go. So, sorry. One more time. Okay, so we don't care about the 100%. That's pretty good. They're pretty much very local. Just, oh, interesting. So now what we're going to look over here is that we want the higher ones, right? Eyeglasses, Kansas City, boom, right there. This is one we can almost say that we're gonna search for, assuming that they're not a LensCraft. I honestly don't remember if they're LensCraft or not. But this definitely just went on the list of things we're going to use for on-site optimization as well as link building. Lee Summit, okay, we said that there was one for Lee Summit. It's got a pretty high also, that there was room for work on Lee Summit. It's got a pretty high click-through rate, so we might use that. So let's see if there's anything else. Anything else that comes through? No, we've ended. This is where, as you can see over here, there's no click-through rates. Nobody who's ever seen this has ever clicked. I don't know what's it called. But pretty much anything from here up would be a valid keyword that we would want to use. Okay, moving on. Spend some time there. Another thing we want to take a look at is landing pages. Just go over here, show 100, there's 97 of them. Just take a quick look over here. Is there anything that looks out of place? Actually, we want to search by click-through rate. So what this is, any of these pages that came up on a SERP, did they click it, right? Or did it just get an impression? We can see a big one right here. This is a great one. This has come up. Has a lot of impressions and has only 5%, which isn't really the end of the world. But we look over here, see if there's anything that, and this is where they end, anything that might seem out of place, where we can obviously work with those keywords. Pretty much of the URL is what I'm referring to. Like again, here's Torah contacts. That means people have been interested in Torah contacts. Okay, fine. Moving on. Take a look over there. The next thing you want to take a look at is that if you go to content, then you go to site content, and then you go to landing page, right there. Okay, pretty much what we just saw before. Here there's 50 of them, but what we're going to do now is that we're going to now mix in the keyword. We're going to type in this box keyword. Okay, and we're going to try it again. There. And now it's going to organize all the landing pages, right? There's going to be a lot more of them now, with all of their keywords. Now there's going to be lots of not set and not provided. There's a way to get this exact report in a custom report, eliminating not set and not provided. If we go all the way down here, there's 314, so we're going to click 500 to see them all. We're going to see which of these websites have been getting a lot of these keywords. So we don't care about customized. Okay, we don't care about the company's name right now. Here we go, customized Kansas City. Now we want something a little more specific that we can talk about. Still looking. Eye Doctor in Lee Summit. Here we go. This is a good one. That means this is the main page. This is the main page. Whoops. This is the main page, right? And Eye Doctor Lee Summit. All of these over here. This is exactly what we we expected. This is what we liked. And they've all gotten impressions of 2. But we're going to go down a little bit more, see if there's anything more. This is a very large list generally. Here's another very good example. Advanced eye care Lenexa is going to the main page. And one thing about that, about advanced eye care Lenexa, that example we see right over here. Okay, it's Lenexa. We don't really want to touch Lenexa, but it's going to illustrate. There's no reason why it should be going to our main page. There are deeper pages that it can go to. It can go to the eye exam page. So that means we'd want to take this and optimize it off the main page so that the main page can so that we can use other things on the main page to get exposure for better words like Kansas City and stuff like that. But you take a look over here, and the ideas you will find. I'm not finding much of anything right now, but it takes a lot of time to look for these things. You keep that list, you add whatever you find, maybe even in another column with the URL that's most common, so you know that you might want to adjust it from that point. You add it to your Google Drive document that we keep so that we can have a nice record of what we've researched and what we've decided on.